particular university or a particular set curriculum, those kind of programs are called as academic programs. So that's what I'm talking over here. I'm talking about academic courses. Academic courses are those courses which are as per a particular university or as per a particular standard that needs to be followed. And based upon that, this program has been structured. Now, academic programs are those programs which are structured in a theoretical manner for a particular student to understand how things will work theoretically in a closed environment. Okay, courses like BCom, BBA, MBA, etc. All these programs are academic programs and they do not have real practical life orientation towards how you're going to move forward in your career. Coming to the second type of courses, which is the professional courses. Now, professional courses are those courses which have a huge mix of the theoretical world as well as the practical world. It requires a person to know both theoretical aspects as well as practical aspects. How things happen in the real practical world is what this program talks about. These are the courses which brings in the required professionalism in a particular person. It brings in the required dynamism that is required for a particular person to move forward in his career. For an example, if you go for a job, a person who's done normal BCom and a person who's done, say, BCom with CA is much more valued than a person who's done only BCom, because CA is a proper professional course which helps you to gain the required knowledge that you want, which knowledge has to be practically implied, and that's how it needs to be taken care of. So therefore, there are various professional courses in the finance industry. I've just named a few: ACCA, CMA, CPA, CA, etc. I have more than a score. That means I can mention more than 20 different professional courses only in the commerce domain to all of you if you're interested to know more about it. And then we can take this as course of how we move forward accordingly. Now, there are this third type of courses which are called as skill-based courses. These are the courses which refer to a particular skill. For example, if you want to learn, say, Microsoft Excel, you want to learn, say, financial modeling, you want to learn, say, Tally software, or you want to carry out some communication skill. So these are certain specific skill-based courses which respond to a particular skill, and only based upon that skill is where these programs will run. Now, in the current day context, there is a lot of requirement of skill, and therefore skill-based courses are gaining a lot of momentum in the finance world. For example, International Financial Reporting Standards, say IFRS. IFRS is a skill, a particular domain, a particular area, and based upon that, people want you to learn that particular area. Now, this is fine. You've got all these three types of education courses, but why do you need to do these courses? It's more important for you to know by after doing these courses, where will you go? Where will you head? So it's important for all of you to know what are the various career opportunities. Okay. Now, if you see on the second slide that I've put, these are the various career opportunities for people in commerce and finance to have, where they can move in their career and progress accordingly. For an example, if you were to see, I have mentioned over here the topmost position in the case of a commerce and a finance position is a position of a CEO and CFO. Now, please understand, a finance commerce professional can always become the CEO as well, over and above the CFO. So might be the person has worked as a CFO and then he gains knowledge about the industry so much that he is promoted to the next level to become a CEO. So that's how CEO and CFO positions are available for a commerce professional, and that's where it will work. Now, coming to the types of industries or the types of areas of jobs that you can work on, I have classified the complete gamut of the professional world into two major heads. One is the consulting position, second is the industrial position. Okay. Consulting position means the position where you're going to work as a chartered accountant or a professional or as an ACCA or as an MBA, as a professional, and render services to third parties or render services to various other companies. Whereas if I'm talking about industry, you're going to work in that particular sector or in that particular industry as a professional within the organization and not supporting third parties, but you're going to support the organization as such. So that's the key difference between a consulting role as well as an industrial or an industry based role. Now, coming to the consulting role, you've got all the big tens which are available globally to you. Even in India today, you've got the small and medium organizations All these practicing organizations will form part of the consulting division. Some of the subdivisions which are there in the consulting division, I'm going to talk about them. But the topmost position that a person can hold under the consulting division is that of a partner. Generally, in the consulting business, the partner is also over and above the director as well. And that's how this business has been considered. Some of the divisions in the consulting divisions are first the assurance, taxation, business risk services, corporate advisory, and some other services, some other areas. Now, let me tell you what do I mean when I say assurance. Assurance is a business area wherein the various statutory audits, the various tax audits, the various audits to be conducted for third parties will be carried out under the assurance function. When I look at taxation, taxation includes both direct and indirect taxation. Various aspects of taxation will be carried out here. And based upon your flair for taking up a particular area, you can take up a particular area that you want in taxation. Looking at business risk services, this will cover gamuts of internal auditing, enterprise risk management, SOX compliance, SAS 70, various other risk services which helps an organization identify various risks that are there within an organization, and how these risks can be mitigated is what business risk services is all about. Now, coming to corporate advisory is an advisory function wherein aspects of merger and acquisition, fundraising, transaction advisory, all these kind of advisory functions that a particular company provides to its clients will be covered. There could be some other functions like training, accounting, etc., etc. And these are the functions that can be taken up and move forward accordingly. Now, please remember in every organization, there are various support functions and various main functions. When I say support functions, functions like HR, marketing, IT, these functions are always there. But these functions are something which is not an area for a qualified finance professional to take up. A qualified professional finance professional will either take up areas in the consulting domain or in the industry. And that's how this will run. Now, having said and spoken about the consulting industry, coming to the specific area of the industry, when I say about industry, I'm going to talk specifically about four industries. First industry being banking, which is the most critical area for a finance professional. Second industry being in the investment industry, the investment market. Third being shared services, gaining a huge momentum over the last 10 years. And the fourth industry being the other any other finance industry or any other finance department that we are looking out. Now, coming to the first aspect of a banking industry, as a finance professional, we can always enter two major domains in banking. One is operations, second is credit. Operations is that particular area wherein a finance professional will carry out day-to-day operations of a particular bank. For example, you'll be part of a bank branch, carrying out and maintaining the bank, being working as a branch manager or as the required head of a particular area or a particular activity that you want. Similarly, when I go to a banking credit function, in the case of a credit function, what happens in the case of a credit function is you will assess whether your client, who's the client of the bank, whether that client is worthy enough to get a loan based upon the documentation that the particular person is going to provide. Those documentation could be in various forms, could be in the forms of existing balance sheet, provisional information, based on the collateral that they have, based on the CIBIL score. So various of all these aspects will be identified, and then the credit worthiness of that particular client will be identified, and based upon that the banking activity will be done. Now, these are areas which are only restricted for finance and commerce professionals in the industry of banking, and that's where you have a lot of opportunity for you as commerce professionals to take up this particular area. Second industry is a market research, or you can say an investment industry, where a lot of clients put in money into carrying out market research as well as carrying out fund management. Now, this is an area where money multiplies money. From money, you multiply more money and move forward. So this is an area where, again, it's only finance professionals to work. Now, third industry is a shared services industry. All the top multinational companies that you see that are entering into India, which have already entered into India, they are all in the shared service space. When I say shared service, now these are the people who are maintaining their books of accounts or maintaining the finance functions of their companies globally in India. Now, this is where a commerce and finance professional are seeing a lot of growth. This is a lot of opportunity for finance professionals to go abroad, to work globally across various organizations, and this is where the shared services is working. Now, in the shared services domain, there are certain sub departments. The first major department is where you have AR, AP, and GL. AR is accounts receivable, AP is accounts payable, and GL is general ledger. These are areas which you'll start working initially with. From there, you will move on to an area which is called FP&A, financial planning and analysis. This is where you're going to analyze how a particular organization is going to work based upon the given surroundings in terms of what the budget is and how this will run. We also have audit departments and various other compliance departments in the shared services. Apart for these three industries that I'm talking about, if you're going to work in any other industry, you're going to work in the finance department of that particular industry and make sure that you're going to work the given aspects that you have for the well-being of the organization. So as a commerce and finance professional, let me tell you guys seriously, these are the minimum areas that you have got to work to go into industry. So let me tell you, there is no dearth of jobs that are available in the market. You have enough and more jobs and enough and more areas to be working on. In fact, last week I came across a particular person who was a qualified finance professional and is working in the media house. You know why he's working in the media house? Might be you would have seen a lot of business news. A lot of business news has got a lot of analytics. You know, numbers going up, coming down. They put some graphs and all those kind of activities. Now, all this in the back end is run by commerce and finance professionals. Let me tell you, it's not those media guys who are doing it. It's we commerce professionals who put this at the back end. They are just the face to smile, talk, and put it across. That's it. But all the work at the back end is done by we finance professionals. And that is where I'm telling you there is immense and more opportunity, immense and more areas that are available for you as a commerce professional to take up these particular areas that I have. Okay. So therefore, I've given you some introduction where we've spoken about what are the various types of education, where are you going to head from a commerce finance professional perspective. Okay. Now for you to achieve this, okay, academic courses, I'm sure all of you know a lot about the academic courses. I will talk briefly today about a couple of professional courses so that you get to know the importance of how you need to have a commerce finance professional programs and how you can take up these programs at this age where you are doing your BCom, and make sure that you're going to finish along with your BCom so that the moment you're out of BCom, you have a competitive edge and you're going to get more better jobs for yourself for you to progress and move forward. The first program, I'm sure all of you are very, very keen to know about the Indian Chartered Accountancy program. So for the Indian Chartered Accountancy program, it's very, very important to know what is the eligibility. The eligibility here is the student should have finished their class 12 and should be pursuing their degree. That's when they can start writing. The second eligibility also is students can write their Chartered Accountancy program after finishing their degree. That's after their BCom, and then start from the intermediate level straight away. The structure of the program has got three levels. One is the foundation, second is intermediate, and third is the final program. So the structure has these three types of programs which are there, these three levels of programs which are there in the Chartered Accountancy program. Now, in the foundation level, there are 4 exams that a student needs to write. All these 4 exams needs to be cleared by the student, all of them together. The passing mark for each paper is 40, and in overall they need to get a minimum of 50%. So that means 4 exams they have to get 40 in each, so that makes it 160, but that's not enough. In total, for all the 4 exams put together, the student has to get a score of 200 for them to clear the foundation level. Okay, let me tell you, at the moment the foundation level is a descriptive examination. It is not a multi-choice question. It used to be multi-choice earlier, but at the moment it's a descriptive exam which is there. The moment somebody finishes foundation, goes to the second level, which is the intermediate level. Intermediate level has got 8 exams. There are 8 exams divided into 2 groups. So that means each group has got 4 exams. You need to clear all the 4 exams, like in the case of foundation, to get a 200 there and then clear the exam. So overall, you have to get 50% of the marks in total, but in each paper, you need to get 40 each to clear the paper. If you don't satisfy both the conditions are included. If you don't satisfy both the condition, you will not be able to pass the second level as well. Okay. Coming to the third level, which is the final level, there are again 8 exams with 2 groups, the same process. You need to get 50% in total and 40 in each paper. Even if you get 50% and if you don't get 40 in each paper, then you have to write all the exams again, unless you've got 60 in each paper. Any paper you get 60 and above, that's an exemption paper. You don't have to write that paper again. So that's the understanding that you have for Chartered Accountancy program from the structure of the examination. Coming to career opportunities, we've discussed about the career opportunities, but just to give you a brief again, you'll have Big Four accounting companies, shared services, small, medium, and CA offices, accounting departments of various companies, and all these options are going to be made available to you. Now, coming to the cost aspect, the overall cost to a student is about between 2 to 2.5 lakh rupees, but also keep in mind, you're going to undergo a 3 years of articleship program under a chartered accountancy area, and might be this full cost that you have gets recovered from your articleship money that you're going to earn as stipend. So a lot of times the chartered accountancy program comes with a negative cost. So therefore, this is one of the bigger advantages the chartered accountancy program has got. And whatever money you're going to spend in the form of tuition, in the form of classes, in the form of books, in the form of exams, etc., might get recovered from the articleship money that you have. However, the time available for you to prepare will reduce drastically because you're undergoing an articleship program and you need to full-fledged dedicate yourself to the articleship program and take up on that particular area. Important aspect, a lot of times CA students have this issue of pass percentages. I have mentioned certain pass percentages. I mentioned all the percentages at the higher level, where I said foundation is 20%, intermediate is 15%, and final is 10%. So therefore, please note the overall pass percentage for a chartered accountancy program in India is about 0.3% and not beyond that. If you want to know how, just calculate if there are 1 lakh students who join the foundation program, out of that 1 lakh students, only 20,000 will pass foundation, which is 20%. Out of that 20,000 who write intermediate, only 15% are going to pass. That means only 3,000 are going to pass. Out of that 3,000 who write final, there are only 300 who are going to pass. So now imagine, calculate 300 divided by 1 lakh. That's the number of people who came in. So therefore, the overall pass percentage is only going to be 0.3%. That's one of the biggest problems of the chartered accountancy program. The pass percentages are very low. And the other area of the chartered accountancy program here is the entry to this particular program. There is no barrier, anybody can enter. But the exit, there is a huge problem in the exit because of the low pass percentages which are there. And that is where one of the major challenges the program the students face. If you are able to clear and become a part of the 0.3%, then it's very good. But if you're not able to clear, let me tell you, a lot of times students end up getting a lot of challenges in their professional career. I've seen a lot of students who are stuck with their career professionally as well as they are stuck in their life personally because they are not able to clear chartered accountancy and move forward in their life. Okay, I think it's enough talking about here on chartered accountancy. Anybody any queries, please feel free to message in and then we will talk about those queries that I have. Moving on, I'll talk the next area wherein there's a program called as ACCA, Association of Chartered Certified Accountants. Now, ACCA is a UK-based organization which talks about a chartered accountancy platform coming in from the UK. There is a tie-up with the Bangalore University that ACCA has got for the benefit of the Bangalore University students who are pursuing their BCom first year, second year, or third year, as they could be during their BCom with the Bangalore University. Now, this is a program for any of the Bangalore University students. Now, what happens with ACCA? ACCA is an organization started in the year 1904. And as they started in the year 1904, they have a much more longer standing than as compared to any other professional accounting body in the world. Secondly, in the Indian chartered accountancy, IFRS was introduced say about 2 years, 3 years back, whereas in the case of an ACCA program, they have been running IFRS since the year 1994. So there has been a lot of maturity that ACCA has shown in terms of their content, in terms of their global access, in terms of their uniform practices across the globe. And based upon that, ACCA has been running this at a given point, which is there. However, let me tell you one thing. If you are looking to practice and sign any balance sheets in India, then ACCA at the moment cannot offer any signing authority. But all companies who are hiring chartered accountants as CA in India are today also hiring ACCAs very clearly. Okay, let me tell you, ACCA runs a program which is called as approved employer, which makes sure that the employer is willing to take an ACCA onto their particular organization. And at the moment, there are more than 7,800 approved employers across the globe. In India alone, they have more than 450 approved employers who are ready to take ACCAs on their board. A lot of companies, especially the shared services that I've spoken about, they are willing and they want to hire ACCAs as compared to a chartered accountant because ACCA brings in the expertise that they want, which is a global financial global finance professional, and that is where the biggest advantage that they're going to get. So all the MNCs that you see, they all are ready. They want to hire ACCS and make sure that they're going to take forward the organization that they have. For you as a employee with these particular organization, it adds an added advantage that you have a lot of opportunity, which is going to be an international opportunity for you to progress and move forward the way you want. Now, coming to this program, let me tell you first and foremost, there is an eligibility. Anybody who's doing your first year, second year, or third year BCom is eligible for this particular program. The areas of focus on this particular program are same like chartered accountancy, accounting, reporting, auditing, taxation, finance and costing, and leadership. The career opportunities are same, where you have big four accounting companies, shared services, small and medium CA offices, accounting departments, public practice in over 90 countries. So you cannot practice in India, but outside India, say example, UK, UAE, Dubai, Middle East, a lot of other countries, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, all these countries you can practice as a chartered accountant in over these 90 countries which you have. However, in India, you cannot practice this particular program. The overall cost for a student doing this particular program in ACCA is that there are going to be a total cost about 90,000 that you need to pay ACCA, and you will have to pay another between 40,000 to 1 lakh for your coaching, training, books, material, etc. So your overall cost will be anywhere between 1.5 lakhs approximately that you're going to look for your full program that you're going to take up. Now, let me tell you the biggest advantage when I say it's an ACCA with a Bangalore University tie-up. The exam structure of an ACCA program consists of 13 exams. ACCA has got 13 exams. Each exam is independent, no groups, no passing criteria, no additional total criteria, no such issues are there in the case of ACCA. In the case of an ACCA, what you just need to do is that you can take up any number of papers that you want. You can write one exam at a time, you can write two exams, you can write three, four, depending on what your capacity and what the way you want to take. That amount of flexibility ACCA has provided to you as a student. So therefore, in the case of ACCA, you can write the exams the way you want it. And for each and every exam, you need to get 50%. If you get 50% of the marks in each and every exam individually, then you don't have to write that paper again. For an example, if I write three papers at a time, out of these three papers, in two papers, I have got more than 50. In one paper, I have got less than 50. So the paper that I've got less than 50 is that I need to write again. But the papers that I've cleared and got more than 50, I don't have to write them again. So this is the kind of flexibility that ACCA is bringing in, and this is the expertise that ACCA is providing students in this particular area. Now, I'm telling you, students have to write 13 exams over this full period. Out of these 13 exams, six papers are going to be exempt for a student who is doing Bangalore University, because these six papers are common in terms of syllabus between Bangalore University and ACCA. Even if you take the CA program, a lot of syllabus between CA and BCom is going to be similar. But because the student is doing CA, the student ends up reading that syllabus and that topic two times, for CA separate, for BCom separate. But ACCA recognizes this kind of an advantage and eliminates the syllabus which is common between ACCA and Bangalore University, and gives you the advantage of not writing six papers and write only seven papers. Okay, can you imagine? Only seven papers is what you need to write, and you're going to get an internationally recognized qualification which is valid across 180 countries in the globe and provides you to be a global financial professional. Okay, now the way you need to approach for this particular program, you should target to finish at least till the second level by writing three exams. Along with your BCom, you will get to the second level, which is the intermediate level, as equal to Indian Chartered Accountancy. And after you finish your BCom, maybe you take one more year to finish your final level, that is your strategic professional level, and you become an ACCA qualified person. Now, in ACCA, there is no requirement of articleship. However, 3 years of work experience is required as a professional, not as an article clerk, but as a professional. So the amount of money that you're going to earn in that 3 years professional is going to be way above than what article clerk is going to earn. So this is an added advantage that you're going to get. And that's where you as a professional can make a lot of difference to yourself globally and recognize yourself more in the finance world that we are talking about. Okay. Now, you already seen a scenario where with CA, you had 20 exams, with ACCA, only 7 exams. Now, you might say, some of you, sir, 7 exams are right, so much I have to write 36 exams in BCom plus 7 plus this. How many exams are you expecting me to write? Now, I'm going to present you a program where you have to write only 2 exams, which is CMA US. Now, before I go to CMA US, if any of you feel that you want to know about the differences between CA and ACCA more in detail, want to understand more about this particular area, what we have done, we've written a blog on this particular aspect. Okay, I'll share the blog link on the message as well. I'll also show the blog for you. I have actually opened the blog and kept it ready, so you can just have a look at the blog. Okay, if you go to this page, and on that page is where you'll see the blog. If you see on this blog, you see on this page, which has been given here, you'll see a lot of information about ACCA as well as CA, why, what should be done, what are the advantages of a particular program, what are not the advantages, how the both will be compared, how the coaching will be carried out, when it was started. All specific information about the differences between both the programs are mentioned on this particular blog, on this particular website, on our website. I would request you, if any of you interested to know about these particular differences, please go have a look at these particular differences so that you are well informed before you take a particular decision on what you're looking to do. I've copied and pasted the complete address for the page where the blog is. I put it on a message chat box. So anybody who's interested can have a look at it, take it from there and see how this can run for you and give you the required advantage that you have. Okay. Coming back, I told you that if you're getting too bored to write so many exams, I'm going to present to you a program where you need to write only 2 exams, which is the CMA program or the Certified Management Program, Certified Management Accountant from USA. Now, this is a program where you can pursue after your class 12. Again, the qualification requirement for this is class 12. And once you are done with your class 12 is a program that you can start. Now, in this program, you're going to look to cover accounting, costing and finance, leadership, management, and risk management. If you were to compare this with the ACCA or the CA programs, the aspect that's not covered here is the aspects of audit and taxation. These are the 2 topics which are not covered here. But apart from that, all other topics which you saw in ACCA are covered over here. So this is a program for somebody who wants to work in industry. When I say industry, banking or financial markets, which is the investment market, or the finance department, or the shared services. But anybody who wants to work in advisory, then CMA should not be the program. If you want to work in advisory, then the program for you has to be ACCA or CA. But if you want to work in the industry, then CMA is a program that you should be taking up. Now, biggest advantage of CMA, only 2 exams. You just have 2 exams to write, and the minimum passing percentage for these exams is not 50%, it is 72%. Out of this 500 marks of paper, so each paper here is going to be for 500 marks. Each of these 500 marks of paper, 75% of the paper is going to be multi-choice. So therefore, this is the kind of flexibility this program will bring in for you to write the exams that you are talking about. The cost here to the student here is going to be about 40,000 for IMA. Your training cost can range anywhere between 40,000 to 75,000 in India. And based upon that, you can take up this particular program. Now, for you students, a lot of times there are some scholarships that we make it available. If you're interested to take up more on this particular program, please feel free to connect with us. We are going to bring in a lot of offers and a lot of scholarships that we have. Now, at the moment, for example, if you're a student going to college, like as you're doing first year, second years, and third years, we are going to help you get a scholarship waiver for this 40,000 rupees, which you need to pay to IMA, the body. Will help you get scholarship for all of you students who are willing to write these particular exams. You provided you register with us and then take up the particular coaching course for this particular program. So this is what is the first major offer that we're going to provide. Coming to ACCA, we are currently running an offer for ACCA for a fee waiver, for a fee waiver of almost 89 pounds, which is close to about 9,000 rupees. So your registration fees currently, if you register with us till 15th of March, 15th of April, which is the end of next week, then in that case, we are going to give you a complete fee waiver of this initial registration of 89 pounds, which is almost about 9,000 rupees. Okay. Ramesh has asked me a question whether ACCA programs are, sorry, is it Ramesh? I'm sorry. Yeah, Kuldev Ramesh has asked me a question whether ACCA is a multiple choice based exams. So at different levels, it's different. So ACCA has got 3 levels. The first level, which has 3 papers, all are multi choice. The second level, which has 6 papers, in that 60 marks is multi choice and 40 marks is descriptive. But all these exams happen on a computer system. So you have to write the exams on Excel and Word. And on the final level, which is the strategic professional level, you have 4 papers. All the 4 papers are descriptive, but again on a computer system, not on pen and paper. However, for a CMA US program, 375 marks, which is 75% of the marks, is going to be multi-choice, and 25 marks is going to be descriptive. This again is on a computer, not on pen and paper. That's how this is. The timeline that you require to do a CMA program is going to be a maximum of 1 to 2 years. Anywhere between 1 to 2 years, students can finish. And on an average, in India, there are about 60% of the people who pass this particular qualification and move forward. Okay. That's where these points of discussions are. This is where we have seen the various, some of the programs that I wanted to discuss with you today and take it from there. Okay. Any of you have got any queries, please feel free to ask. I put my connection coordinates for all of you to have a look at them. And please feel free to ask your queries if you've got any. Our website is www.cfonext.co.in. Please remember, we are running offers for CMA scholarship on the complete IMA fees, as well as we are running an offer for ACCA who's going to register. We're going to waive the complete registration fees for them up till 15th of April, which is the coming next week that we have. Okay, you can save close to about 9,000 before you register and take it from that particular aspect that you have. Any of you, any queries, any questions, please feel free to ask before we wind up for the day. Ramesh, I think that's fine. Have you got that answer to the ACCA multiple choice based questions? Okay, Nisha, I think I have asked a question. I'll unmute you, Nisha. Please speak and mention. Ramesh, thanks for confirming. I'll just unmute you, Nisha. If you could talk and ask your query. Give me a second.
Hello.
Yes, Nisha.
So my question is, in case I'm taking BCom and ACCA two qualifications, so will it be easy for me to do two qualifications at a time? Can I manage both of it?
See, the simple answer for this is in BCom alone, every semester you're writing 6 exams.
Yes, sir.
I am telling you in BCom over 1 year, you write only 1 exam. So therefore, along with BCom, you just have to write three papers, 3 exams. That I don't see a big challenge. I don't see a big challenge at all. And a lot of students are doing this, so there is no problem at all. Whereas if you were to do say BCom and CA, imagine the kind of burden: 4 papers for level 1, then 8 papers for level 2, that is foundation, then intermediate. The same level in ACCA, just by adding 3 papers, you're finishing the second level. So this is an answer that you need to think over.
Okay.
Thanks, Nisha.
Thank you, sir.
I have another gentleman. Wait, let me just unmute him. Sorry, I have a question from, 1 second. I have a question from Ravinder Singh. What is the eligibility of CPA? Ravinder, could you unmute and let's just unmute you. Please ask a specific query that you have. 1 second. Yes, Ravinder, can you please tell me what you're looking for? We spoke about CPA.
So actually, CPA US, I'm
Mhm.
looking like one of my brother wants to do that.
So for CPA, you need minimum post graduation. Without post graduation, you cannot take up CPA US.
Oh, okay. So like he's in final years.
Final year BCom.
Yeah.
He has to study minimum MCom. Post graduation,
Okay.
only then he can take up CPA. Okay.
So like as you are seeing like how the cases are increasing, so do CFO provide any online courses like for
Yeah.
ACC and all?
Yeah, so all our programs are online. We provide online live coaching as well as online recorded coachings.
Oh,
Depending on your need, you can take them up definitely.
okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Ravinder. Get in touch with our team. They'll help you with to get you more information on same.
Yeah, okay, sir, of course.
Thank you. I had another question from D'Souza. Okay, D'Souza, I'll just unmute yourself. Please ask a question. Yes, D'Souza, could you share your point?
Hello.
Yes, I can hear D'Souza.
Yes, sir. Sir, so if I take up ACCA now I'm actually a student of Bangalore University studying first year BCom.
Okay.
Okay, and I was told that there is some integration, some exemptions of ACCA happening with if I take up BCom. I would want to know something about it. And also, sir, are the subjects relevant? Like, won't it be difficult for me, like ACCA is a professional qualification, again, BCom subjects?
Correct.
I
So
just started out on that.
yeah, D'Souza, I understand. So that's what, as I told you, the bigger thing that has happened between the tie-up that is there between ACCA and Bangalore University is that, for an example, in ACCA, as I told you, there are 13 papers. The first 6 papers, anybody doing BCom under Bangalore University, they don't have to write. There is an exemption that you will be made available of. So you just have to write balance 7 papers. Now, in this balance 7 papers, I am only recommending as part of your BCom, when you're studying BCom, write only 3 exams. Don't write all the 7 exams. So now these 3 exams that are there are papers of financial reporting, audit and assurance, and financial management. Now, all these 3 papers, you're also studying in your BCom examination. Might be at different levels, might be at 5th year, might be in 5th semester or 6th semester or 4th semester, depending upon the situation. But these subjects are very similar to the ones, or the basic level of these programs or these subjects, you're already studying in a BCom paper. So therefore, it is not going to be very difficult for you to clear these 3 exams and move forward and finish at least the first 9 papers. 6 papers as an exemption and 3 papers for you to write the examination and get your advanced diploma from ACCA that you have before you move forward. Is that okay? The last 4 papers you better probably write after you finish your BCom, so that you don't have the pressure to clear and get the situation, and don't pressurize your BCom, and enjoy your college life as well. That's also very important. It's important for you to enjoy your college life as part of your college, and make sure that you get your BCom degree righteously, properly, the way you want it. I hope that's
So
fine.
no, it means that we can write only one paper in 1 year of ACCA.
You can write 1, you can write 2, you can write 3, you can write 4. So in a year, maximum number of papers that ACCA allows you to write are 8 papers, but you have an option to write only 1 also. So I am suggesting you write only 1 paper every year, so that you will have more comfort in studying both BCom and ACCA together, and be more flexible in the way you're going to do it.
Okay. And sir, if I want to join ACCA now, because I am just finishing my semester exam, first semester, what are the procedures? So where do I approach or where to contact?
Yeah, so I have put my contact details in the end. You can contact our website. You can contact our contact numbers. Our office numbers are there. You can contact us. You can send an email to us, and then asking for details. We'll provide all the required details for you to get in touch, and then our team will help you get registered for the same.
Okay, sir. So fees and all will be shared with us.
Yes, everything will be shared. This is
Okay, thank you.
okay. Thank you. I have one more question. Harish, I'll unmute you. Please ask your query. Yes, Harish. Harish, can you ask?
Oh, so
Yes,
can
Harish.
you tell me that price details of that ACCA, like
Yeah.
EMIs and everything?
Yeah, Harish, yeah, I would request you please get in touch with our team. We'll be able to help you with the more details. So there is a special offer that we are running, as I told you, till 15th
Yes.
of April, for all students who register for the ACCA program under the Bangalore University structure. And for the CMA, all college going students, we are giving some scholarships at the moment. So please get in touch with our team. Contact numbers are there, and they will help you more to take up what you are looking for. Okay. Thank you, Harish. Yes, guys, anybody else, any queries that you've got? Any questions? Okay, Vikram. Vikram, I'll unmute you. Let's hear from what you're saying, the question that you have. Okay. Yes, Vikram. I understand you are from an autonomous college. Yes, Vikram.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. Could I know which college?
So, Reva University.
Okay, so you're currently from Reva University, and as part of Reva University, you are looking for an ACCA program?
Yes, sir.
Now, let me tell you, as part of an integrated, so the Reva University is an autonomous college. So for an
Yes, sir.
autonomous college, unfortunately, the syllabus has to be mapped separately for ACCA.
Okay.
You will be able to get only 4 paper exemption after finishing your BCom, not before that.
Okay.
However, there is some additional route that we can try for you. I would request, if you are interested, please get in touch. We can give you some way where you don't have to write these 4 papers and start writing your BCom exams immediately. Along with the BCom, you can start writing the balance papers immediately. But
Okay. Like,
we will not be able to help you get 6 paper exemption at the moment.
okay. Under autonomous, we get only 4 paper exemptions. If it was a Bangalore University, then
You would have got 6 papers, correct?
okay. Sir.
So it's not, it's not say it's autonomous. For example, St. Joseph's College, Christ University, okay? All these
Yeah,
colleges,
like-
what they have done is they have integrated their program with ACCA. They have taken a separate application and integrated. So they have 6 paper, 9 paper different exemptions. But
Okay.
unfortunately, Reva University has not done this. So due to which Reva University students will not be able to get the 6 paper exemption.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all.
You are
Thank
in
you.
first year?
No, sir. Final year students.
Yeah, then I'm really sorry. Might be because the upcoming year, Reva University might be going for accreditation to add ACCA. So the new students who are coming, they might get 6 paper exemption, but you will not be getting. I'm sorry.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thanks, Vikram. But you can get in touch with us. We can do the program with a 4 paper exemption with us.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Thanks, Vikram. Anybody else? Any queries? Any questions? Okay, guys. So if that's there, then thanks for joining in. Have a nice evening. Thanks for joining the session. Take care. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your weekend, and have a nice time.